Hello, I'm Narendra, and in this short video, I'm going to present to you uh, the philosophy behind the different rituals that we perform in Sanatan Dharma. Why we perform rituals. So, what are rituals in the first place? Rituals are physical acts that are related to the divine. You know, these acts we perform to show our relationship to the divine in some way. So, just as knowledge, the path of Jnana Yoga, the path of knowledge, is a way to the divine, devotion is a way to the divine, which is the path of emotions. So, rituals is a path of karma, physical action that we do to show our devotion to the divine. They are physical acts. And behind every ritual, there is a philosophy. And rituals kind of, act out that philosophy. For instance, when we meet each other, we greet each other with this gesture of namaste. Namaste basically comes naman. It comes from the word naman. That means bowing down. So it says, I am bowing down. Bowing down to what? Bowing down to the divinity. I am bowing down to the divinity. That is namaste. And the joint palms, they kind of, show the union of two minds. Let there not be any disputes between us. Let there be a union of minds. And I am bowing down to the divine in me. This is the meaning of this ritual. Namaste. So similarly, there are many rituals, and for instance, you see the people who visit the shrine of Sabrimala. They go through a period of austerity of 40 days. Uh, that is a ritual which is related to the temple of Ayappa Swami in Sabrimala. So you can watch that video of mine which I have made about Sabrimala, where I have discussed in details about this ritual and what Sabrimala is all about. So rituals are basically rules and patterns of behavior that we adopt towards the Vigraha. Those are those are rituals. So now the question may come up: why do we need rituals at all? What is the need? Initially, I also thought in the same way. I thought that they are simply, stupid, meaningless acts which have no significance. But later on, I learned about them, and my view changed. You see, if it is only knowledge without any rituals, then that tends to become a kind of let's say intellectual gymnastics. It's all on the cerebral level. It's all in your mind. So rituals is something that you bring it down to the level of your body, not just devotion, not just your emotions, not just your intellectual knowledge, but even through your body you show your adoration towards the divine. That is what a ritual is. So without some physical action, at the physical level, so it's all then this our devotion becomes a intellectual exercise, intellectual gymnastics, and it's all abstract ideas in our brains. It flights into abstractions. So that is why rituals kind of, they bring down that feeling of adoration and devotion down to the physical level. That is what a ritual does. For example, the Shashtanga Pranam. We do Shashtanga Pranam lying on the ground, where all the six parts of our body are on the ground. That is showing our humility to the divine, total surrender to the divine. That is another ritual like that. But again, we should remember that when we perform these rituals, we should know what the ritual means. Because you see, knowledge minus rituals is intellectual gymnastics and flights of abstraction. But rituals minus knowledge, they are meaningless acts, meaningless habitual acts, which we are performing just because some others are doing it and we imitate it. So mechanical observance of rituals is not religion, is not Sanatana Dharma. It cannot be a mindless, dead habit, imitation. And there's a joke, one of my favorite characters, Mullah Nasruddin. There's a joke that Mullah Nasruddin goes to a mosque, and they have that, that ritual of doing namaz, and they bend over. And when Nasruddin did that, his shirt that he was wearing, that shirt had folded up, and his backside was kind of exposed. And the guy who was sitting behind him, since it was looking indecent, he pulled his shirt to cover his rear portion. So what Nasruddin does is immediately he pulls the shirt of the guy who's sitting in front of it. So that guy turns around and he asks him, "What are you doing?" Nasruddin says, "Don't ask me. Ask the guy who's behind me. He started it." So that is what rituals become. We perform a ritual because someone behind us, that means someone in the past had started it, and we are blindly imitating that. So that is what it becomes. Becomes ultimately. If rituals are performed without knowing the philosophy, without the idea that is behind that ritual, when we don't know that, then we become like Nasruddin. Don't ask me, ask the guy who's behind. So that should not be. We should know what the rituals mean. What philosophy is there behind the rituals. For example, Pradakshina is a ritual. And you can watch my video on Pradakshina where I have explained the philosophy behind Pradakshina, what Pradakshina means. So that is what it is. So in short, ritual is an adoration and worship of the divine through the medium of our physical body and also mind, because mind also comes in that attitude of devotion. So that is what it is. Relating to the divine through the physical medium. That is what a ritual is. Thank you very much for watching.